Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another part of this bookshelf reorganization. So I basically organized the entire bookshelf based on the amount that I want to read each section. Those books over here are all the ones I'm hyped for. These ones over here are the eh, and the ones behind me are the no's. So this shelf is the meh shelf. This stuff is the I don't know what to do with this stuff. So as you can see, it's a mess. And I have a burning question for you guys. I need your help. Okay, so first, let's go through this. These are the books that I have already read, but I had issues with, and so I need help with. Alice was good. It was weird. It was good. The follow-up, The Red Queen, was out in left field, and I don't think I liked it. I have one more book of the series, and I think it's behind me on this shelf. And do I read the third book? Do I keep the trilogy? What do I do with these? Next, I have a couple of books that I've had forever. One is The Scarlet Letterman and the other one is Wuthering Heights. I am tempted to keep these. I really liked them, but I'm never going to read them again. Do I keep them? Do I get rid of them? What do I do with them? In the same token, I have this book. So Julie Kenner was a favorite author of mine when I first started reading. I have not read much from her since, but at that one point in time, I really liked her. So the books I have of hers are this one, which is an anthology. Then I have The Good Ghoul's Guide to Getting Even and Good Ghouls Do. I remember really liking these. Again, these are the books that I loved when I first started reading, but I'm not sure what to do with them. Do I keep them? Do I get rid of them? I mean, they're not books I'm gonna read again. Here's the last section I have of those. Brace to Bite, Fangs for Freaks, and Dating for Demons. All books that I've had for ages. These are some of the very first books that I started reading way back in the early 2000s, and I don't know if I should keep them. Do you keep the nostalgic books that you're never going to read again, but they hold good memories? Do you keep those? That's just all I want to know. This one, I have the same problem with this one that I had with Alice. I really liked Magonia. It was a really good book. I've kept it all this time because I liked it. But I didn't like the sequel, Airy. It's a duology. It was an interesting duology. It was about this girl who has issues with breathing. And what happens in this book, it's a spoiler for this book, but I thought it was a really good book. I loved Magonia. I really didn't like Airy. So do I keep the duology? Do I get rid of Airy and keep Magonia? Do I get rid of both of them? Same problem. I have no solutions. So give me your feedback on that part first. Next, I just finished the Vampire Academy books. I have the Bloodlines books. I have almost all of them. I think I'm missing one, maybe two. I read Bloodlines way back in the day, but I don't think I'm the audience for these books anymore. Whereas these ones that I already showed you, I loved when I read them because I was the audience when I read them. These ones I haven't read yet. They don't hold a nostalgic place in my heart because I've never read them. I mean, the cool part here is that one's signed. But I don't know if I should actually read them or not. Can somebody tell me who has read the Bloodline series? I liked Vampire Academy. Do I read Bloodlines? Okay. So let's move on to the next section where I don't actually need your opinion on so much, but just want to make the video about this portion of the video of it. We need to go through these. These are the books that are almost in my UNHAUL box. My UNHAUL box right now has several books that I've already read, and they also have several books that I have copies of and a couple that are problematic authors. I will do an UNHAUL soon. I don't think I can send out the books though. I know I've had some questions about sending out my UNHAUL books, and I don't think that I am financially able to do that. So what I'm going to do instead is take them to a little used bookstore that we have here nearby, and they will buy up to 20 books at a time, and they'll buy them for a quarter of their selling price. Then they sell them for half price, but I can get store credit for them. And so the store credit is actually worth more than the cash. I'd rather have the store credit because it's a cute little bookstore and I would like to support them and buy from them often. So that's where they're gonna go. I haven't finished the box yet. I probably should be doing an UNHAUL fairly shortly, especially once I hit this. So the point of this is that I'm going to read a chapter in some of these books, and I'm going to tell you why I'm not interested in them anymore, or what about these books bother me. Okay, I'm going to start here because I feel like this is the best place for me to start. So if you don't know, I used to go to church. I was part of the International Church of Christ, which I found out later on is a cult. I think that in some ways churches can be easily turned into cults, or vice versa. Cults can be turned into churches. And this one was really unhealthy for me. I was part of the church for 10 years. And I tried really hard to make it work. I tried really hard to fit into the box that they wanted me in. It just didn't work out very well. So I have these books. These books are like fiction tellings of women from the Bible. So we have Esther. Esther is a woman who believed that she could be married and happy, and ends up marrying some old man. We have Bathsheba, who was married to David, and I think her story is pretty sad. And then we have Delilah, and I think Delilah is the one that cut Samson's hair, but I'm not 100% sure. It's been a while. I have read the Bible numerous times, but my memory sucks. Apparently, PTSD or CPSTSD can really affect your memory, and I had a very treacherous childhood, and so I have no memories. And I think I have that right. So I don't know what to do with these ones. I don't know if I should just straight out get rid of them or if I should try them, because they could be interesting books, because these are based on biblical stories though, so I'm a little bit concerned about them. So these books I'm going to try. I don't know which one to try. I think I'm going to send a picture to Nikki and ask her which one of the three I should try. If I keep one of them, I will try all of them. If I get rid of one of them, I'm getting rid of all of them, because I'm not going to put myself in a position where I'm going to dredge up bad memories of church. I know not all churches are like this. I know that not all Christians are like this. I follow several Christians on this channel who seem like wonderful people, and they don't push their religion on anybody else. But I was badly treated by my church, and I cannot. I was badly treated by this church, and my kids were badly treated. I was highly encouraged to spank my children. If you guys ever want a church story from me, let me know and I will give you background. But as of right now, this is why we're talking about this, because I am going to try one of these books and see if it triggers me, see if I can handle the content, and see if their writing is any good. So that's the first thing I'm gonna try. Next on the list, we're gonna go with books that I've had on my shelf forever. These I got as ARCs when I worked at Borders in the early 2000s, because I'm old. I remember seeing these on the shelves. The release date for this one is December of 2007. I remember seeing these, thinking they looked really fun and wanting to get them. I don't even remember what they're about anymore, but it says on the back that Bond meets Dracula. I'm Jazz Parks. I'm boss of Valais, born in Romania in 1744, died there too, at the hands of his vampire wife Lillian. But that's ancient history. For the moment, Valais works for the CIA, doing what he does best, assassinating people, and I help. I used to really like vampire books. So we're gonna try number one. If I like it, maybe we'll keep it. But we're gonna try it and see how I feel. Now I wanna do at least one more. I wanna do up to 5, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick 5, but I wanna do at least one more. Picking the books that I've had on my TBR the longest. The next one I'm gonna pick is Bloodline and Bloodline Reckoning. So we have book 1 and book 2. These are also vampire books, I think. It says, my dear daughter, I fear an old enemy has returned. An enemy, my friend, and I had hoped our own children would never know. From what I have been told, I believe Quincy Marker is descendant from the same evil, parasitic presence I helped remove from the world 35 years ago. 1 Count Dracula. Again, I loved vampire books back in the day. I'm pretty sure I would still love them. I just haven't read them in a long time. So I'm gonna try out those ones also. Again, if I like one, I'll keep 2. So I think I'm just going to start doing like a try chapter, and if I can't get into them, then I will get rid of them. If I can, I have the hiccups, I'm sorry. If I do like them, I will keep them. So you're just gonna let me know about the stuff that we talked about earlier, but this is what we're gonna do today. If I have time, I also wanna try these 2 out. This one is called Mary Modern. It was also released in 2007. This one is about this woman who like goes back in time. I'm not positive what this one's about. But I've again had it on my shelves since I worked at Borders. And then the last thing I have on here, it's kind of bent up from sitting up funny. It's Delirium by Lauren Oliver. I know this was a beloved book way back when, but it's been on my shelf for ages and I've never read it. So we're gonna try these out. I am going to try a chapter of them. This one's got a bookmark in it. I don't know if it was just shoved in here or if that's how far I got in the book and then I put it down. I do have several books that I have put down. Actually, let's do this one later. If I've started it, then I want to put it with the ones I've already started. So the last one I'm going to do is Vampire Kisses. Again, I have 3. I don't know what numbers each of these are. I know for a fact this one's the first one, but I don't know about these ones. So we're going to start off with books that I've had on my shelf for an incredibly long time and have never tried. I am going to go away, try a chapter, come back and let you know what I thought. And we will see if we can whittle down this table to books I like or get rid of all of them. So once we finish the table, we're starting on this. Fair warning, I am in a massive reading slump right now. I read Womb at the end of September and I've only been able to physically read 1 book since, and it was another splatterpunk extreme horror called The Broken Doll. But I don't want to read that anymore. I have grossed out upstairs and it's not doing it for me. So we going to try something else and maybe I will find a new favorite in the pile of books I want to get rid of. And if not, I will have enough to do an unhaul. So win-win. All right, I'll be back. All right, update. I am not at home. This is Nikki's library. Isn't it beautiful? Okay, so we're sitting on the couch in her room, and I decided to start with the religious trauma. Guess what? Can't do it. Let me read you a very slight excerpt from the very first page of this book. It says, The Dangerous Beauty Series. A Hebrew text, I'm going to butcher these, so if you speak Hebrew, I'm sorry. The Hebrew text has two words that are typically used to describe personal appearance. One, yapah, Y-A-P-E-H, is rather mild and means good looking. The other, tob, T-O-B, when applied to women's looks, conveys sensual appeal. This woman is so beautiful that she arouses the desires of men who see her. Beauty doesn't always benefit the woman who possesses it. On occasion, it betrays her, and at times it endangers her even to the point of death. The novels Esther, Bathsheba, and Delilah are stories of three top women. And it starts off by talking about the first time that Bathsheba sees David. And if you know anything about the biblical story, Bathsheba was the woman that was bathing on her rooftop when David saw her and was filled with lust, sends her husband to the front lines and has him killed, and then marries her himself. It starts off talking about how the prophet Samuel talked of how she was going to do great things, that she was going to bear a son that meant a lot to Israel, and that she was going to be unbelievably beautiful. She was going to be top. And her parents kept talking about how her beauty was going to be her biggest asset and how she was to marry the man that God sent for her and have lots of babies. This was very, very triggering for me and my issues. Nikki is sitting next to me and reading another book, and she's at the very end of it and she's losing her crap. So if you hear from next to me, that's why. Or laughter, because that's what she's doing right now. So these ones are out. I am getting rid of the entire series because the first 4 pages were so triggering to the emotional damage that I took from church that I cannot read about a woman who is going to, for all intents and purposes, be forced to marry a man that she doesn't care about and bear his children for the betterment of the society. So that's it for number 1. Done. Gone. Bye-bye. Now to pick another book from the bag of goodies. Do you have a preference? I like the one that I had. I don't want to read that one just yet because I actually think that one I might like. Okay, so in my bag of goodies, this is what she wants me to read. This one is about this woman who time travels. And then we have 3 different series all about vampires.
An uncorrected proof.
Yep, this is when I worked at Borders a million years ago. This is next. I'll let you guys know how it goes. All right, book 2. I made it to page 16, 17, 16. I made it to page 16 before I gave up. So this book is supposed to be about this woman who is a scientist who wants to be tenured, and she also wants to be a mom. And so she decides to clone her dead grandmother and gets a 22-year-old who's now in the wrong century. Or at least the wrong decade. My problem is that the story really isn't written about Lucy or Mary for that matter. It's written about the house. And it starts off with this guy going on this pseudo date with Lucy. And it's just, I got to a paragraph that literally made no sense. And that's where it lost me. I was curious, but kind of guarding myself. And she goes on this rampage about how cloning is going to be the new way of reproduction, that you won't need men anymore. But then she starts talking about how smart she is. And when your main character spends at least an entire page talking about how smart she is, I lose interest in the character And I wasn't sure about this in the first place, and we looked up, Nikki's still right there. We looked up some of the ratings on it, and people either loved this or they hated it. It was like no in between. It was a 4 or a 1. And people talked about how some of the best stuff was about the house. And my problem isn't the house stuff. The house stuff was actually kind of intriguing. It was the way she talks. I don't think I can do this one. I think this one's gonna have to be a no. And I read 16 pages of it. I mean, the first chapter is 45 pages, but I read 16. So I feel like I gave it a decent try. And I mean, there's part of me that's still curious, but I don't think I'm curious enough to read a book like this. You agree?
Yeah, no, I would not.
Okay.
I'm a cover horse, so based off the cover, I wouldn't have even touched it.
That's true. I know that.
Yeah.
So next we have vampire books. I think. All right, so this is the next one. Nikki wants me to read Bloodlines. I want to read Vampire Kisses. So we're going to go with the ones that we're not super hyped on. I think this is the first one. It says Meet Jazz Parker and Once Bitten, Twice Shy. I think this is the first one, but I will verify because I know I have the first 2. I think this is 1 and this is 2. We'll find out. So, let me start this and we'll start the vampires. Oh, it says 1 right on it. I'm dumb. Okay. See? It's got the 1 right on it and you can't even see it because everything else is, nope, forget it. It says 1, I promise. So let's go. Vampire book.
What is that? I don't know. It didn't cross my mind.
Okay, because I
never
picked up hot
does.
dogs and
It
macaroni
didn't
and
cross.
cheese
Yeah,
and
it
stuff
didn't.
for Monday's dinner.
It didn't cross my mind.
I picked up the cake mix.
I
all
said
that.
it didn't cross my mind. Do you
But
want anything
what are
else?
you thinking?
Where's my package?
Downstairs. on
It's
the
not in my
counter.
hand.
Well, that's because you haven't gone downstairs to get it there. But I think.
Yeah.
I
Did you
just
show
need a couple
Dennis?
of- no.
The last sentence is, yeah, I sighed. Now I could rest.
I thought that was for the other book. I was like, God, I'm glad you quit that one.
Okay, I'm gonna try it out now. I'll be back. Okay, so this is day 2 of this little experiment. Hopefully I'll be able to finish today. So I started reading this one. I got like 16 pages in. I read the full prologue and I started on chapter 1. I just got to a point where I couldn't, nothing was absorbing into my head. I was trying to read and everything was just filtering back out again. And it isn't that it's a bad book. I don't know if it's the right time or if it's just a book that isn't for me at this point in time. There was like a reference to stuff that was going on in the world, like Desperate Housewives, which really aged the book. Don't put topical stuff into your books unless you're okay with it aging them. And this one definitely was aged. I like the theory behind it. I might have actually even liked the book. It's just, it wasn't enough to hold my attention. And at this juncture with this many books to read, I need to stop holding on to books that I am just, dude, turn off the water. At this point in time, with the number of books that I need to read, I don't want to keep books that I'm just not into. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. It's probably a fine book. I didn't have a problem with it. It wasn't holding my attention. So we're moving on. This is the next series that I'm going to try. I'm going to take Bloodlines with me today. My nephew's stepbrother has a birthday party today, so we're gonna go down and be there and say hi. I don't have a present for the kid though, which I feel kind of bad about because I forgot about the party until yesterday. But I'm gonna take this one with me and hopefully I will like this one. This is the one that Nikki was most interested in me reading, and then the one that I was most interested in reading is still in the bag. And that will be the last book we try out. So I'm gonna take Bloodlines with me and I will see you guys later. Hi guys, so I have come to finish this video. I know last time I talked to you, I was reading Bloodlines and I never gave you my thoughts on it. Well, I'm here. I don't have a lot going so far, but I am liking it. It's written mostly in journal entries, which I thought was kind of cool. It's definitely a vampire book. I don't know exactly what's going on with it. Okay, all I know about it is it's a vampire book that takes place during a war. And so far I like it. I'm going to keep going with it for now. So these ones are not going on the chopping block yet. Doesn't mean they won't, but it just means not yet. Because I started this last night, finished this morning. It is super short and it was very cute and I liked it a lot. However, this was something I should have read when I first started reading again. So when I started reading again when I was 21, this would have been one of those things that I would have devoured. I would have loved the entire series. There's like 12 books to this series. They're all really short. Like I said, it was really cute. It's about this girl who is obsessed with vampires, and there's this creepy old mansion that somebody moves into, and she is desperately trying to find out more about the people living in the creepy old mansion. There's a boy living there, and it's their story. It was definitely something that I would have loved in my teens, in my early 20s, but at this point in time, it's just a little dated. So I don't know if there is a good person to suggest this to. So I have a Mario Mancusi series called Boys That Bites. Same vibes. There was another one that I read about the same time that has the same, the stack of books that I showed you at the beginning. So at the very beginning of the video, we went over these. I needed to figure out if I was going to keep them or get rid of them, but I absolutely adored them. But they're books that I couldn't read now. These books would have been perfect. So if I had read this when I bought it, it would have been absolutely perfect to read then. I would have adored it. But now it's gonna go in the UNHAUL pile because I'm not gonna put myself, The Glass House. That was the comparison I was gonna make. Rachel Kane's The Glass House, I loved back when I first read it, but I tried rereading it recently and I couldn't do it. Same feeling. I think this would have been a really great time if I was still in that teeny bopper short vampire book stage of my life. I still love vampires, but I want it more epic now. Yeah, it was really good. So I'm gonna donate these. Hopefully they'll find a good home, and I just gotta figure out what to do with these ones because these ones are the ones that I did read and I did love back in the day. But again, same feel. So yeah, that's it for this one. Out of all the books I read, the only ones I'm keeping at the moment are these ones. And hopefully I will like them enough to actually keep them. But if not, they'll go into the UNHAUL pile and I will let you guys know when I do my UNHAUL where these ended up. But I will have to do that soon because that box is full. Anyways. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm going to say goodbye for now, and then I'm going to pick out my next set. So keep an eye out for the next video. Hopefully it will be in the nearer future. That one took me like a month because I read a bunch of books in between. So hopefully this next one won't take me as long. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.